So this is Let's Talk Tuesday. We'll be here for another minute. I see that there's someone here already. Thank you for being here. This is the once a month live stream where we can do question and answer as well. There's a chat button over on my screen. It's over on the right-hand side. I'm not sure how that actually shows up on, I think it might just be like a comment section in for a viewer. And so I can see that pop up if anyone wants to say hi, if anyone wants to have a question or share anything that they feel is appropriate for what we'll be talking about. And let's get started. So, hello, Christina. I love when you are here giving me smiley faces and hearts. Thank you for being here. I want to start today by talking about upcoming events like I usually do. So we have the blog is up on the website. It now has a new setting where you can listen to it. There is some wonderful lady from Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, something accent, an AI voice that will read you the blog if that works best for you. And then I will be very soon recording the blog. So then that will be part of the podcasts that are on the YouTube channel. I think there's like 2 or 3. I think there's 2 blog posts on made into a podcast with some nice little visual stuff. So it can be a very pleasant experience. That's here on the YouTube channel. And let's see. So here we have Let's Talk Tuesday. We do this the first Tuesday at 7 of each month. Next week, we have our group healing session, another live stream. I love doing that. It's so much fun. That's in the morning, 9 o'clock. And that is something that I stream here on YouTube as well as on Instagram. So if you follow or are subscribed for either of those platforms, you'll get notified that I'm live and talking. And the group healing sessions are nice because we do work, and it's always my favorite thing to hear from people. And I love hearing how much the group work affects the people that show up, how it aligns with what they are hoping to clear or what we're talking about, resonates with them in some level. And there is a sense of peace. And I think when we are healing together with this intention of moving forward, showing up in a place of love, I think it goes even further. So group healing session 13th, that is scheduled. So if you go over to the live, to the tab on YouTube that says live, you will see things like this. Let's Talk Tuesday. They get scheduled a week or so beforehand, depending on where the first of the month falls and my time frame for doing things. And you can actually click a notify me button. So then for sure you'll be contacted. Tentatively, there is a movie night scheduled. I still have not confirmed with the Candor Library, but we're looking at the 17th, which is a Saturday. So it would be early afternoon to watch Power of the Heart. And I mean, if all else fails, we'll just cram into my office and we'll just figure it out. But check the website for when that is finalized. And I announced that. More stuff, more stuff. The 18th, we have online class. The anxiety support has moved to online until I find a place that can work for hosting a group of 5 or 6 people, or maybe 20 or 30 people. We're going to try online and see what that's like. So it's an ongoing workshop. I have offered it once a month for quite a while. I've offered like a clinic time of some kind once a month for, I think most of the time I've been in my office, 5 or 6 years. So Anxiety Workshop is now transitioned to online. You can sign up for that on the website. You can sign up for that on Eventbrite. You can also just send me an email or a message and say, I want to sign up for that class. So it's $20 to do that. I can send you a link to do that electronic payment, or we can figure something out. And then on the 29th, we have a leap year this year. I've never heard of this before, but just recently I saw in a local paper that there's a lot of projects for the leap of kindness. And I love that. So the 29th has a little note on there on my events calendar of that is a day of kindness, a leap of kindness. So I'm going to do extra special, nice things for people on that day, and maybe every day afterwards. That sounds like a good plan. So Let's Talk Tuesday introduces the theme of the focus of my own personal piece of wellness. So I usually have some kind of thought that shows up midway through a month, or at some point when I'm transitioning from one month to the other. And I really hear it. I listen to it. I notice it. I notice and listen, and I shift things around me so that I feel like I'm more aligned with the person I want to be, the person I want to become, my values. I connect to that thought. This month's thought is self-love, because we are here in February. I think we can look around and find a lot of hearts everywhere, and this focus for Valentine's Day, for celebrating love. And it's such a valuable place to come back to. So we can get lost in loneliness. We can get lost in negative stories. We can get lost in things that might not be uplifting where we need to be for healing. There is the vibrations. I talk about like the vibe all the time with emotions. Emotions have a specific frequency. And there is that concept of the frequency chart can associate loosely, and I never really got too far into investigating this, with colors. And when we hit love, when we hit the vibration of love, I don't know why I mentioned colors, because now I'm trying to remember what color is what. So I'm just going to let that go. I have a chart that says all this at my office in a little summary thing. When we hit that vibration of love, the experience of love, it's a big thing. It's an emotion that we have physical responses to. Maybe there's some palms sweating, maybe there's some butterflies in the stomach, maybe like armpits are sweating, maybe our mind is racing, maybe we can feel tongue-tied, and all of these, there could be a long list of stuff that's happening. And when we're interacting in love, when we're feeling this love settle in or having this experience, and then the concept of living in love, living in gratitude, living in a place where we're coming more from our heart than from our past. We're coming more from our heart than our brain. We're coming more from our heart than our instincts, our reactions, for safety. Of course, they are important, but when we're really resonating with love, or anything above that, the positive experiences, positive emotions, there is this thought that there's no place for that other stuff. There's no place, there's no receptors that reach out from our cells on our cellular level. There's no receptors that reach out and can receive viral, bacterial, There's no resonance that's available for negative emotions, disappointment, rejection, shame, unworthiness. It doesn't fit anymore. When we can truly be vibrating in love, those experiences don't fit anymore. I think it's an interesting concept to think about. And so self-love is the thing that we can't blame anybody for. We can't feel a victim about this person did this, or I don't have that, or woe is me, whatever. Fill in the blank. You can see my reaction to it. The self-love thing, we can never have someone in our life that loves us more than we love ourselves. There's a threshold that we are setting the bar at. And if we disregard our needs, how can we expect someone else to not also disregard our needs? We're not showing them that it's important. We're not respecting them on our own. So when we find that rhythm, when we find a place of self-love, we find a place of healing, because that other stuff, there's no place for it. There's no place for that memory we have of that person's bad day. We don't have patience for scrolling through YouTube and watching Karen videos or complaining things, or the politics stuff. We want to cut to the chase. We want the end result. We want the facts. Not the end result. We want the facts. We become very aware of what is a fact, and what is drama. What is this other person's trauma? How am I aware of that? Is it relating to my trauma? What else do I have to let go of? The more we connect to love, the less room there is for any of the other stuff, any of the other junk. Something else to talk about is the emotions. I reach over here. I have my little chart for my being an emotion code practitioner. This is a whole modality of healing, a whole technique of healing. Just this chart, learning how to muscle test and looking at this chart, or learning how to use a pendulum, looking at this chart, learning how to understand how we are vibrating with the answer of yes and the answer of no, and asking about hidden emotions, trapped emotions, emotional resonances. Typically, there are a lot of them in people, and the more we release, the more welcoming we become to the vibration of love. The more aware of those things that were just part of our vibe are removed. And if you tune into next week, our group healing session, you'll see what it feels like to remove them. And you can even go right now and check out some of they're all on a playlist here on the YouTube channel, and what it feels like to have, so I'm the one talking, say something, and we can have this, this whole story come back. We can feel like we can remember, the day like it was yesterday. Maybe it was yesterday, maybe it was this morning, but we can become very angry again. We can become very emotional again. We can become very sad. We can whatever. We can also become very happy. And remember when that person remembered me and was thoughtful, and this thing showed up and it felt so great. We can go through that whole flashback, as well as we can go through like a negative outcome or a negative emotional outcome. But the point of this, I got distracted by my chart here. Things like this chart that holds 60 negative emotions. All of them have their own frequency, their own vibe. They all have their own association with an element or an organ of the body. This would be like Chinese medicine tying in here, and how they govern the life force of that area of the body, the organ or the system. And of course, we want to get rid of them, but there's a whole bunch of other emotions out there. There's a whole bunch of other negative emotions out there, but the ones that I focus on releasing for people, I acknowledge that they are all from this tree of fear. The positive emotions are all from the tree, that's just a figurative analogy, of love. So are we going to be growing a tree of love? Are we going to be growing a tree of fear? Are we going to be eating from the tree of love or fear? Are we going to be sharing branches to our children of, this is what life is like, of the tree of love or the tree of fear? And it's one or the other, 100%. It's this one, or the other one. Never both. If you're confused about whether it's both, it's fear. It is never both, love or fear. What is this emotion? Maybe we can't identify that emotion. Then we can identify, I am releasing this form of fear that has my attention. You will be connected to that enough to go through that process, your fingertips over that governing meridian. I have magnets over here, magnifying my intention of releasing those negative emotions. And recognizing that intention is huge. So love or fear. I have my next thing on my notes, and I see, Christina, you said I need to learn more about that. I didn't notice what you were pointing at, but if you can message me or you can send something here and I can talk more about it, if that sounds great. I wanted to talk a little bit about how I introduced this thought on in the newsletter. If you want to sign up for that, please do. It's the sign up is on the website on pop-up things, pop-up windows. And so I send out the newsletter on the 1st, and I was talking about this definition of self-love. So to me, it is one word, and it is the word boundaries. I got that. Okay. I can talk more about that if you want, Christina. So the definition of self-love is boundaries. And I think there is probably, I feel like everyone can argue about everything, I guess. There could be a conversation about how that can be something else. But I feel like when we talk about it being something else, I feel like it can also just be boiled down to boundaries. Boundaries of self, boundaries of crap in my life, boundaries of dysfunction, my own, others, boundaries of how people treat me, boundaries of time for myself, boundaries of how far I'm spreading myself thin. When I reel all those back in, or even become aware of my boundaries, all of that is an effort in and an effort of self-love. So the title of this Let's Talk Tuesday is Love Thyself and Heal Thyself. And the order of that is very important. I talk about that in the blog. We cannot wait to get to the goal, to become healthy, to be this thing over there that we imagine is different than the thing over here, and then love ourselves. We will get there faster. I promise you. I promise you. I said that, I think that's a total of 4 times, that loving thyself sets you up for that vibe where there's no place for that other stuff to fit. There's no patience for the demands, the over demands of ourself, where we say, wow, I need some support here. Are you my support? Okay, excuse me. I need to find somebody that is going to support me. Do you want to support me? How can you support me? Give me some feedback. Tell me what you're good at. Because if I'm trying to make you into something that you're not, then guess what? There's no boundary there. My energy just goes into the toilet and somebody else is flushing it several times. It's gone, gone, gone. Noticing where our energy is going, what conversations we're having with each other, what our life looks like, how we're taking care of ourselves. Of course, that's super important as well. But finding love for ourselves now is critical to getting to any goal that is either right in front of us or 5 miles away. Love yourself right now. And what the heck does that mean, right? Do I have to go get a fancy hairdo and buy makeup and get a better car and whatever? In my opinion, that has nothing to do with yourself, capital S, your true self. The true self is our purpose in life, the values that we keep, our health, the love that we give, the love that we receive, all of those things. To me, if I'm aligning to more self-love, those things that I just listed are just happening. Those things have a place in my life because I'm creating that vibe, creating that vibration of love, and none of the other stuff has anywhere to fit. So, I have a project that I imagine the couple people that are here might be already engaged in, but for anyone that's catching the replay, that 5 minutes to better you, I'm going to just go like this because my helper Weston and I worked so hard and it was so awesome to put this thing together. We have a handful of people that are signed up for it, maybe a couple handfuls. But the people that are actually engaging in it is very surprisingly low. And I think that is also something to talk about that we can talk about here real quick, is the thing that you buy, the treadmill, the Lululemon pants, I think I said treadmill, the gym membership, the super expensive health coach. I'm in a place where there's people that are, sending me emails and whatever that charge an insane amount of money for like a group seminar, like a lot of money. And that's fine. That's fine. That might be what the people need. Sometimes that's what people need, like dumping $25,000 into a project, and that's what makes them show up. And it's not the $25,000, it's how they're showing up. It's what has tuned them into, I'm doing this. This is happening. This is my self-love. And in my opinion, somebody else might have a different opinion. The $25,000 is not the self-love. The investment in the betterment is self-love. So whatever it is that you're learning, becoming, some certified instructor, or just receiving work, or doing a training for, I think I already said this. I don't know. I lost my train of thought with that one. But really connecting to those things. And so I give out a lot of things for free. And I feel like if somebody paid $100 for the 5 minutes to better you, I feel like there'd be a much better turnout. I feel like if I charged whatever amount of money, and that's not necessarily even true, because I have things that people have bought and then I never hear from them again. And it is what it is. But the investment I keep it low for the fact that I was a beginner once, and there were things that I didn't quite understand. There were things that I didn't really understand what the outcome was going to be, but they all, and some of them even sat on my shelf, so to speak, in my inbox or this or that, uh, because I thought the $50 was going to be the motivator, but it wasn't. I thought the program was going to be the motivator, but it wasn't. So knowing what works and what doesn't, do you need an accountability partner? Do you need to show up? And I feel like for me, like the public commitment thing is huge for me to get any sort of deadline done. I thrive in the having a lot to do and like the crunch time of like putting things together at the not the last minute, but I feel like I could work on something for 2 weeks, but then like the last day, I feel like I'm like sorting things out and I'm like, oh my gosh, why didn't I do that? I could have been practicing this like 3 days ago if I had thought about switching all these things around. But there is something out there that works for you. And you might have a long list of things that don't work for you. And that is super great because when we know what doesn't work, guess what? We can stop doing it. And then it can be off the table. So if we just keep doing what we're doing, we're going to keep getting what we're getting. And so being aware of what we're doing is crucial in stepping forward into a place of like, yeah, I've tried that for 45 years. So, and that didn't work. So I definitely want another outcome. So I need to find another input or output, however we want to see that, and input into self and output into life. Maybe it's time to make a new vision board. Maybe it's time to have different conversations with people. But finding those things that aren't working are giant chunks of gold because we are learning something valuable. It doesn't work anymore. It's a waste of my time. And I'm going to set this chunk of gold over here and cash it in my earliest convenience into this treasure trove of, well, what else might work? Because now I have all of that energy back and I'm going to put it forward into where I want to go. So 5 minutes to better you. It's free. You go on the website, you sign up for it. There's a tab for it in freebies. I think it was listed in a couple places because it was kind of like the feature. I know it's in freebies. And you put your email address in and then you'll get access to this hidden page on the website. And then there's 4 weeks of ideas for self-care. They take 5 minutes or less. They are so low impact financially. And there's 3 ideas for each week. So there's 12 in total. And there's a lot of new stuff. There might be some old stuff. There might be things you heard of but didn't know about them. So I talk about what the thing is. I talk about how to incorporate them, like how to do them. And of course, there's a worksheet because I love worksheets. And or you can make your own up, some kind of diary of something. So I think that's all I wanted to say. The 5 minutes to better you. There's a bunch of different products out there, lots and lots of downloadables. I love the permission series. I think it's like my favorite thing. And it's just this little self-love project that I did a couple years ago now. And I gave myself permission to do these very simple self-love things: laugh, rest, acknowledge my accomplishments. Very, very basic, but I used it as an intention for the day. I used it for a place, like a piece of wellness for my day, to think about it, to notice it, and see. Well, permission to say yes was one of them. Permission to say no was another. And the awareness, hearing myself, setting the intention to hear myself. What am I saying no to? Am I saying no to opportunity? Am I saying no to things that are crappy? Am I saying no to time for myself? Am I saying no to my children? Am I saying no before I even know what I'm saying no to. And then that same practice went into saying yes. I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of all the stuff up there. But please, I hope you check something out. So alignwithsarah.com is the website, and tons and tons of resources over there, tons of resources here on YouTube, and more to come. And of course, we got to get to Christina's question. Is it this, the chart of emotions and frequencies? I did just see that I can share my screen. Yeah, so let me see if I can pull that up and I can show you here. Because sometimes when people Google something, it doesn't exactly show up the same as if I Google something or do some kind of search engine. So let's see what it's like to share my screen. I'll just be crazy and share the entire screen. Oh, that looks crazy because I'm on this one. Oh, dang it. I can't see. Wait, let me. Oh, okay. So it did change. All right. So I Googled emotional frequency chart color. And what I have in my office is similar to this cone shape here. You can pull this one up. This says that it is from Omega something or other. I'm not sure if that's somebody's. I feel like there's an Omega Institute. I don't know if that is what this is talking about, but this is kind of essentially what it is. When I talk with people about the emotion code, when something like guilt or shame, and this might be a little controversial, but I'm going to do it anyway. I grew up in the Catholic Church, guilt, regret, and shame. And I was never aware of that until very much later on in my life. But guilt and shame are the lowest frequencies that there are with emotions. They're very, very low on that chart. So no matter where you are, there is this potential of these two emotions bringing you down further. So I'm just imagining that you can see my screen. I hope you can, because I can't see anything but the screen that I'm sharing. So guilt and shame and guilt. Shame looks like it's the lowest here on this one. They're pretty much tied. They are tied together. We have the same, maybe that's 20 and 30. End of the day, very, very low frequency. Wherever you are, they can bring you down further. If somebody is trying to guilt trip you, they are trying to control you. If somebody's trying to shame you, they are trying to control you. We can spend a ton of time hearing those voices of shame or guilt or anything really, that story of this thing happened, or that voice, from our parent, or some influential person in our life, especially the age 7 or younger, saying that thing that creates that feeling of guilt that can just, we can think of that happy thing, we can think of, whatever, have that emotional response just by thought alone, happy or sad, thinking of our best day, thinking of our worst day. Our body is going to respond to the thought alone. That's what that Joe Dispenza is so great about bringing out into the world. I don't feel like it's even possible for me to remember who this person was, who they have this like healing modality or this like concept of health. It's called love or above. And then they focus on this frequency of 500. It's this frequency of love. It's those megahertz YouTube videos of that mildly annoying music. It's like humming, and I feel like I either don't hear it at all, or I can't like get it out of my head, and it drives me crazy. But the 432 megahertz, there's a number 5 something. There's a 333 megahertz where they're high, so we can see. I don't know how small this is showing up, but things like, whoops, courage is that frequency of 200. So we're there at that cusp of tipping into these positive emotions. Pride is on this chart as a negative emotion. Courage is where that tips over. And to bring this back to like love and heart, the green is our heart chakra, and on this chart of positive to negative, it is that tipping point of what is the negative emotions and what are the positive emotions. So here we have this like swirly thing. It looks like it's got a whole bunch of other pieces of information. I don't have TikTok, so I don't think any of these are going to come up. This looks like a chart that's full of information. I can't help but even wonder. I see some arrows where there might be like tying in the thoughts of like a creation and control factor, which would be Chinese medicine. I'm not sure what's going on with these charts of like the body. That is, I mean, that's right there can get looked at. It's not anything that resonates with me specifically. But let me get back to over here, and I'm going to stop sharing so we don't go into infinity. And let's see. So does that answer your question? And I love your little emojis are so freaking cute. So yes, if you're signed up for that, if you're not signed up for it, go sign up for it. 5 minutes to better you. Get some ideas, incorporate them. Here's your reminder, and let me know how that goes, please. And so let's see. I listen to frequencies on YouTube, and it's neat to see the correlation with the emotion and the numbers. That's great. You're very welcome. I love questions. So anybody else has questions, please let me know, because again, I love questions. I love answering them and sharing my knowledge. I can say this again. I'm not sure if I touched on this, but the frequency thing does show up on this chart, the emotion code chart. It's pretty much the same. You can like Google it or do an online search, and some of the emotions might be switched. So like in a box, like what is number 1 might not be number 1 in every, like this box here, then the order of the emotions that are in this particular box might be different from chart to chart. Yeah, and you can fill that in with any of these, but they are going to be part of this row. They're going to continue to be part of this row, because in row 1, the emotions that are listed here, they're broken down into 2 columns, which doesn't mean anything other than it's a great way of like eliminating half of the options in front of us. This top row associates with heart and small intestine. Those are yin and yang paired up organs of the body, and they share qi. So the small intestine is the open vessel, so that is the yang. The yin is going to be the heart, that is the denser of the two. They're a fire element. We have 4 of them, which is a little bit confusing because all the other elements only have 2 organs that associate with them. There's only 1 yin and 1 yang that represent like earth and wood and air. But with fire, we have supplemental fire, and I think it's called primary fire. I don't know why, I just forgot. But so heart and small intestine, that it is so involved in alternative healing. I'm going to say we're always looking to heal heart energy. We're always looking to connect and grow heart energy, heart and small intestine. When we do EFT, that's the first point that we connect to: love and accept myself just the way I am. This is heart and small intestine. They associate with the pinky. And the emotions that are associated with heart and small intestine, I'll read all 10 of them that are listed here. Some relate more to heart than small intestine, but either way, it's that same energy of the heart. How it's, if it is the small intestine and the small intestine's more specific, it's going to affect how the heart engages in the chi for that element. So maybe I'm talking about this way too much, but I love sharing what I know. And I love this chart, really. So we have heart and small intestine energy, and we're going to, the emotions that affect the function of the heart, the function of the small intestine: abandonment, betrayal, forlorn, lost, love unreceived, effort unreceived. Those are two different vibrations, two different emotions. Heartache, insecurity, overjoy, vulnerability. There are more. Those are 10 primary ones. Working with somebody, if there is something that is like not exactly those words, the flow of the work, the flow of connection, the flow of finding is getting as close as we can to be able to pick up that energy. Just like what I was talking about before with connecting to, this is an emotion of fear. I can't identify it exactly, but I'm choosing to let it go. I'm going to set my intention, that governing meridian. That's a whole other rabbit hole I can get into. Using a magnet to magnifying my intention. I'm choosing to let go of this feeling of fear, this emotion that grows on the tree of fear. You can find words that work well for you, that connect. We don't have to know exactly, but setting the intention and actually having an intention, sitting quietly with it and exploring it, goes a long way. We don't have to, spend all kinds of millions of hours and dollars or whatever it is. That intention is huge. So just setting that intention and making that effort, walking forward with awareness. Let's see. I was just like, I'm perusing through my paper over here, and I'm like, what is all this stuff? And my notes are over here. So I think that's about it. I'm really so thankful of all this interaction. I'm thankful for all these numbers on the screens, and I see some thumbs up and everything. This is super wonderful. Back here again, let's see, next week on Tuesday for a group healing session. I hope whoever's here can take some time to either watch the replay or, even better, show up and be connected to where the magic starts. And then I have my class. It's called Taming the Anxiety, or Taming the Dragon of Anxiety. We are going to go through lots of information, just like what I was talking about with this, teaching the vibration frequency, sharing what I know about that. I'm going to share what I know about how a perception of anxiety that helped me get my anxiety under control. So we're going to do a couple projects. There's going to be lots of teaching, lots of sharing, and we're going to do some work. We're going to learn techniques of how to calm that anxiety so that you have tools moving forward And hopefully you'll show up here nice and relaxed. And so we will learn in a calm, with a calm experience, not high anxiety in the moment, but you will learn in this calm experience which sets you up for applying those tools when there is high anxiety. So we learn them in one space, we apply them in another, and we have a better result than when we try to learn them on the battlefield, so to speak, with high anxiety, in a state of, dishevelment. I made up that word right now just for you. Yeah, so I hope we have a nice group. Right now there is a lovely group of 2 people, and I would love to have that be bigger, but even if there's one, probably even if there's none, I'm probably going to talk, and I will be trying to record it also in 1-hour chunks. And if you sign up for it, then I will give you access to the recordings. So even if you can't make it, sign up, and I will get you the recorded versions of them so they could be helpful. And I think that's it. I made it. This is the end of my day. I've been engaged in another very full day, which feels wonderful. And I'm so glad to have this time with you, so we can bring it to a close, and then I can get my PJs on. Yay. And enjoy that experience as well. Okay, so thank you, everyone. Please check out some more videos here on YouTube. Please make sure to subscribe. I feel like I have to say all these things because it is YouTube, but the channel is so close to monetizing, which means it's going to fall into the algorithm a different way, which means that it's going to become a resource for a ton of different people, and reach a bigger audience, which is going to be phenomenal. So the more the channel gets interacted with, the more likely that is to happen. So please comment, please subscribe, please give me the thumbs up, or whatever it is that you feel like the video deserves. And I will talk to you again real soon. Okay, I'm going to get out of here, so I will stop talking. Okay, thank you, everyone. Bye now.